Welcome to this training on tall tales and table topics. We are going to be looking at how to respond to questions related to table topics as well as tall tales. And this is a very interactive training. It's just to share some tips, not something so much. It's just to familiarize us with how to respond to questions during the competition, the contest that is coming up this month and middle of all the way to middle of next month. So it's going to be interactive. Feel free to ask questions at any time. And if you have something to add to whatever I say, I'm not going to say everything, obviously. So if you have something you are going to say, that will be much welcome. If we can finish the meeting in the next 1.5 hours, as by 5:30, that will be fine. It's not compulsory that we finish by 6, but if it lasts till 6, that's also fine. So I'll share my screen now. Please feel free to ask questions, like I've said. And can we all see the screen?
I can see it, sir. I can see the screen, sir.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I can see it too.
All right. Okay, so this is a quote by Guinea Rometi. Growth and comfort do not coexist. This is so beautiful. I love this quote so much. So you have to choose one. Those who grow have to face some kind of discomfort. Growth and comfort do not coexist. So you choose one. I mean that you are attending this training, you are inconveniencing yourself. You are depriving yourself of something that you could have enjoyed, maybe sleep or do something else, but you are here just to learn and grow. So this is a very timely quote, that growth and comfort, they do not coexist. So let's apply this. I would prefer we choose growth because it pays off at the end of the day. 5 years from now, you will wish you have done all you needed to have done to improve yourself in every area of your life. So growth is better than comfort to a large extent. But don't walk and not play. Play too is good once in a while. So we'll start with the contest rules, and we'll not spend so much time here. We'll just go through over them and we'll move straight to the training. I put only the eligibility to be eligible to contest in any Toastmasters contest this year, 2020-2021. The Toastmaster must be a paid member in a club, and that club must be in good standing. So the paid member can be a new member, can be a dual member, can be a reinstated member, and the club too must be in good standard. And the member must have completed levels 1 and 2 of any part in the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience. So whoever is going to take part in the contest must at least be in part 2, and we'll try to complete level 2 before the contest. This is also very important. You must try to complete level 2 of the pathways. I just feel I should put that there so we take notes and inform those who are participating. So only people from level 3 are eligible to contest. But I'll confirm this with the division director because this is particularly for international contests. So I don't know if this also applies for tall tales and table topics, since that will end just within the division, doesn't go beyond division E. So we'll go straight to table topics. Now, we're all familiar with table topics. I mean, they call it impromptu speaking, they call it extemporaneous speaking, or like the nickname we also give it, speaking on your feet. Speaking, and we do it every day, but you know, in the secular world, it's not called table topics, it's not called impromptu speech. Someone asks you a question and you just respond. Someone asks you, how do you do? You respond. What's your name? You respond, and so on. So we do it every day. But Toastmasters is trying to train us on how to respond to questions effectively. And we'll just look at certain things that will help us respond in the context on your feet, because you have just 1 to 2 minutes to say something very useful within those periods, and you don't know what the question will be. So in table topics preparation, you don't really prepare for it's different from an ordinary speech, because you have to write out that speech, rehearse the speech, practice the speech. But in table topics, you don't know the question, so you are only going to prepare on your ability to respond to any kind of question. That's the difference between table topics preparation for contest and every other contest in Toastmaster. The same thing with evaluation too. Evaluation, you only go there, it's only after the speech that you gather your thoughts together. Now, when you are coming for the contest, I felt I should put what the judges will be judging you on when you are participating in the contest. I felt I should give you tips so that you become aware of what the judges will be looking out for during the contest. The first thing the judges will score you on will be on your speech development, the ability to develop a speech within 1 to 2 minutes and make sense from it. And your speech development is the way you put your ideas together so the audience understand you. So it is the flow, your ability to flow with your speech on your feet so that your audience understand the flow from your introduction, the body, to conclusion. And it's also how you structure your speech, like I said, having an opening, body, conclusion, and using examples, illustrations, facts, and figures, if appropriate, and deliver smoothly. So in table topics, you don't just give the answer, you have to look out for illustrations. So your judges will look at did he or she use any illustration, was there any fact, was there any example, was there any figures? So you have to put in either your own personal story as an example, or if you can remember any quote, fine. If you can remember any illustration, fine. That will help you. So the first judging criteria will be on your ability to develop your speech. The second criteria will be on how you are able to align your speech to make it effective, to inspire your audience, to educate your audience, to inform your audience, and you're able to do it logically. You know, this is your subjective judgment of how the response came across. So your spontaneous response to the question is also what your judges will be looking out for. Was the speech effective? Was it inspiring? Was it informational? Did it have passion? Was there any enthusiasm put into the speech? How effective was that speech with respect to the question? So your response to the question, was it effective? Effectiveness could mean that were you able to say it with passion? Were you able to use your gesture to illustrate your point, and so on and so forth? So for every response you give, you have to make it very effective. That is, make the audience feel you. Let them feel what you are saying. Now, the other one will be your physical appearance. You know, the judges will also look at the way you appear, and they will look at your body language. They will look at your gestures. They will look at your expressions. So your eye contact, your vocal variety, and everything about a normal speech will be judged about the physical. So your appearance too is very important. When you are coming to deliver the speech, deliver it looking very good. So dressing is also a judging criteria. And then your voice. Your voice has to be loud enough. It has to be clear enough. It has to be flexible enough. It has to fluctuate. It has to attenuate. You have to move it up, bring it down. That's if you attend so many table topic contests, you see the contestants exhuming a lot of passion. So your voice is also a judging criteria. You don't speak so that people cannot hear you. You don't speak with how do I put it now? Nervousness. You don't appear nervous when you are standing in front of people. It's a contest. So you speak as though you are talking to people who are judging you in an international platform. It's a contest. So your voice is also one of the criteria. Now, you have to also, it's very important for you to put your pitch. Your pitch is also a criteria for your judges scoring you high. For example, if you say $10,000, you could say $10,000. You could stretch it, you could raise your voice, you could emphasize it just to put emphasis where you want your emphasis to be. And then your language, this is where grammar comes in. And I would advise, if you can, to start learning what I call descriptive language, usage of similes, figure of speech. They are very good in public speaking, extremely good. So your judges will judge your ability to use similes, metaphors, hyperboles, and so on. So your language is also critical when you are responding. So in a nutshell, those are the levels, different aspects of scores. Those are where your scores will come from. And the speech development carries the highest. In the speech development carries the highest mark. Other ones carry little marks and so on, but they are all very important. So please, as you're preparing for the contest, take note of these areas: your speech development, the effectiveness of your speech, your physical appearance, your body language, your gestures, your expressions, the way you stand, your stance on the stage. You don't bend your shoulder, you keep your head straight, you look straight to the audience, your eye contact. All those things are very important when you are giving your speech. And then your voice needs to be loud enough, need to speak to the last person in the room, and make sure on that day, since it's going to be an online thing, please make sure that your internet connectivity is sound. Use more than one connectivity if possible, but make sure that there's no break in transmission. Your language should be clear, your pronunciation should be intact, and your use of descriptive language, figurative language, similes, metaphors, personification, hyperbole, oxymoron, and so on. They are also very useful instruments for you in this context. Now we'll go to responding to table topics question. But before then, may I ask if there are questions? Someone wants to say something. You want to ask a question, you want to contribute? Any question from the house?
No questions, sir. I don't have one.
A comment.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Now I can relate, or I could be able to see the way the judges actually judge those who present the table topic. It comes in different folds. I need to be bold, use the right language, and also make use of hyperbole or any other
Figure of speech.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you. Any other comment, question? Okay, so we'll go on. Now we'll talk about how to respond to table topics question. Now I saw this formula somewhere and it makes so much sense to me. I mean, it clarifies, it's such a simple formula because sometimes once you know, once they give you templates that you could use for something, it makes the thing easier, makes it easier for you. Please, you can type your question in the chat room so I could see it too. Once you know a template to use, it makes the whole assignment easier than you just using any kind of formula or any kind of ways to do it. Once you're able to get a template, you know you have to do this first, you have to do this second, you have to do this third, and so on. It makes life easier than someone who is just guessing. I saw this formula online and I mean, it's just so beautiful if you can master it. It clarifies, it simplifies ways to respond to any table topic question or any other question for that matter. The formula is R plus R plus A. So simple, so simple and beautiful. The first R is for recognize. The second R is for restate. The third R, the A is answer. So when they ask you any question, the first thing you do, you try to recognize what you are being asked. What is this question asking from me? The second thing you do, you restate it. You restate it, and the third thing you do, you now respond to it. We'll look at few examples, and then we'll take few exercises just to train ourselves. And during the exercise time, I would like everyone to respond. I'd like everyone to say something. Like I said, this is just an interactive class. It's not a training, it's not a seminar, it's just to share ideas. So the formula I would like all contestants and all Toastmasters to, in school they say cram. If you want to cram, please cram, If you want to learn it, please learn it. However you want to do this, formula R plus A is so beautiful. Now let's see how it is used in a simple question. The R, like I said, is recognize the information in a question, recognize what they're asking you in a question or statement, recognize what you are expected to focus on in a question or statement. Now, the question they will ask the contestant might not be a question really, it might just be a statement. But you know, we are so used to question. We are so used to questions. So you might go there with the mindset that they will ask you a question. It could be a statement. So please prepare on both sides. If a question, fine. 9 times out of 10, it is usually a question. But what if it's just a statement? So that you are not knocked off your feet. So you prepare for both question and statement. Now to recognize the question is which of these who, when, where, why, what, which, how question is contained in the question the table topics master is asking you. Usually you have who, when, where, why, what, which, how questions. Those are usually the questions. Who, when, where, why, what. Who did this? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? What happened? And so on. Which of them happened? How did it happen? And so on. So these are usually the questions you'll be asking. To restate it is observe the focus of the question or statement. Is it related to time? Is it related to place? Is it related to activity? That is, this who, when, where, why, what. Is it talking about time? For example, they could ask you when you were in secondary school. That's time and place. They could ask you when you were working, so that's activity. So is it related to time? Is it related to place? Is it related to activity? If it's related to time, you know you have to mention the year, you have to mention the month. If you can remember the day, you have to mention it. And then you could describe the event that happens in time 1, time 2, time 3, time 4, time 5. If it's a place, then your narrative skills comes in. How is the place? Is it a place full of coconut like the Bahamas where I am? You know, there is a breeze blowing as fast as it's blowing? How do you describe that place so that your audience feel you in your presence in that place? Is it an activity? If it's an activity, what happens first? What happened next? What happened? So your ability to narrate story sequentially becomes very useful when you are restating it. And so when you are restating the question, you personalize the question. You change you to I. For example, if they ask you when you were in secondary school, so to restate it, you could say, when I was in secondary school. So in the beginning of your response, instead of repeating the question exactly how the Toastmaster, Table Topics Master stated it, you could restate it by saying, when I was in the secondary school. Okay? So when you are responding to the Table Topics question, you restate it. You change the you to I. You personalize your response. It's very important. And then you go ahead to answer the question using any of these formats. You could describe, you could narrate, you could persuade, you could tell a story, you could combine any of the two, any of the four, any of them, you could turn them upside down, and then be mindful of the time. So the formula is respond. The first R is respond. The second R is what? Who was listening?
Restate.
Restate. Okay, and then
Restate.
the A stands for
Answer.
Answer. And you could answer the question describing it. It could be to describe a place, to describe an event, to describe a time. But all of it, you are talking about event. When you are responding, please take note of event. Focus on the event. That's what will bring out the flavor from your speech. And make sure you have opening, body, closing. A good opening, good body structure, good closing. And please know that you have 1 to 2 minutes only. So avoid details as much as you can. Avoid the details as much as you can. Just go straight to the point. 5 points maximum. 3 points is good, but 5 point maximum in 20 seconds each. All right, first example. Question. Table topics master, he's calling you distinguished Toastmaster Mfoniso. Yes, it's your turn now, and you're standing in front of him. And here he is reading the question. When you were in secondary school, who was your favorite teacher? Here's a question. When you were in secondary school, who was your favorite teacher? So the first thing is recognize the focus of the question. Which question, which of the W is there now? Who can see it?
Who?
Who? Who?
Yes.
That's the question. Who? Who was your favorite teacher? That's the thing you are being asked. And to restate it is when you were in secondary school, how do you restate that? When I was in secondary school.
Right?
So the answer will look like when I was in secondary school, my favorite teacher was Mr. Okafor. Are we clear enough with this?
Yes.
So the question was when you were in secondary
now,
school,
for instance, I'm on
who was your favorite
It's been
teacher?
a very busy season for me, but it's
So
difficult to understand.
Please let's mute our mic. It's like I'm hearing some noise
busy
from
in the
somewhere.
nature. A lot of things I'm not solved with money. I have to do it personally.
Mr. Paul, please mute your mic.
Person with one
Please let's mute our mic,
my
please.
challenge, but let me, after this thing will end in 1 hour's time, I'll call you.
Okay. So the question is when you were in secondary school,
sorry.
who was your favorite teacher? The answer, first of all, you recognize what am I being asked in this question? The question is who was your favorite teacher? Who was your favorite teacher? So this is talking about a person and is also talking about a place, secondary school. Secondary school. So if you are going to talk about when you were in secondary school, so you have to say something about your secondary school. You have to say something about the teacher. You can focus the first point on the school, talk about your school, the name of your school, your principal, if you can remember his name, and 1 or 2 experiences. You can talk about the teacher. What did you like about the teacher? What did you hate about the teacher? You can talk about him. Was he tall? Was he fair? Was he fat? Was he short? You can say all those things about him, but don't forget the focus of the question. Remember that your judges are looking at your speech development. The content is very important. So you have secondary school, your favorite teacher. And you have to restate the question, when I was in secondary school. That's how you start your response. My favorite teacher was Mr. Okafor. And then you can continue, Mr. Okafor was my physics teacher. And then you go ahead and describe Mr. Okafor and then describe your school the way you want. You have the floor, you have all the flexibility in the world to respond the way you want, but please don't forget these 3. So we go to examples. Here, everyone will talk. The first question is, if you could relive yesterday, what would you do differently? If you could live again yesterday, if you can go back to yesterday, what would you do differently? That's the question. So who can recognize what we are being asked here? What is the real question here?
Aye.
What should we recognize? The first formula, the first R is recognize. What would you say under recognize here? Okay, Olabode, I can see your hand. Go ahead.
Time and place.
Okay, what is the question really? What's the focal question there?
If I could relive yesterday.
The question is what?
Yes. The question is, what would you do differently?
Yes.
That's the first R. That's the first R. You have to state the first R in full. What would you do differently? So immediately they ask you the question, your mind should focus on what would I do differently? Yesterday is just giving you the time, but the real focus of your response is what would you do differently? Will you sing differently? Will you talk differently? Will you laugh differently? Will you sit differently? Would you walk differently? What exactly would you do differently? So that's where your thinking will begin to flow. That's the direction. What would you do? What would I do? Will I talk differently? Will I do planning differently? Will I sing different? You can say any example. You can use anything. Would you love differently? And if you would do loving differently, who would it be that you will love? Is it your mom? Is it your dad? So what would you do differently? So if you could restate this question, who could help us? Who can help us restate this question?
If I could relive yesterday, what I would do differently is...
Correct. Correct. I think that's very correct. If I could relive yesterday, what I would do differently is or are, depending on how many things you want to talk about. It could be one, it could be two, it could be three. So that's how you must restate the question. And then so in 1 to 2 minutes, who wants to try? Question number one.
Sorry, excuse me, I have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Must the question be restated using the personal personate as in I? Can the question be paraphrased? Must it be exactly the same way it is? For instance, he said if he could relive yesterday, he would do something differently. What about if I say, give it a second chance in life? Does it follow?
Not really, sir. You see, the question, the topic. Can you hear me?
Am I communicating?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Can you hear me? We can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, that will not...
I can hear you, I can hear you.
Okay, let me respond to the question you are asking.
Yeah.
That will not follow because you have to respond to the exact question you are being asked. You are not allowed to paraphrase it because if you say second chance, the question does not talk about second chance.
Okay.
So you just...
All I was trying to get is the idea of paraphrasing. And this brings me to a club normal meeting that people, most times I hear people say, you don't have to be exact. You don't have to give an exact answer. We just want to see your impromptu speaking skills. So I think from the club level, we should start being very emphatic about being realistic and going straight to the question, answering the question in a professional way. How about that, sir?
Yes, that's okay. I mean, that's part of why this training is holding, so that we learn.
Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
That's part of why this training is holding, so that we learn new tips on how to respond to those questions. When you are responding,
Okay.
you have to personalize it. You are now the one talking. You know, the table topics master asks a question, so you are now the one talking. So you have to say, if I could relive yesterday, what I would do differently is, you just go ahead and answer whatever comes to your head. You are free to now say everything that comes to your head, but you have to restate the question, and then that restatement guides the way you begin your response, because you are responding to someone's inquiry.
Question.
Yeah, so you made the person, first of all, know that you understood what the person is asking you by restating it to the person, and before you now give your answer. Okay, so I want someone to try to respond to that question.
Cool.
That question one.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Who is trying? 1 to 2 minutes.
Hi, my hand is on.
Olabode, your hand is on?
Yes.
I can see 3 people raising their hands. Who are they? This is interesting. Okay, I can see Mr. Nametiapan, and then
Yes,
you can
sir.
see Osita. Okay, the 3 of you, 1 to 2 minutes. Olabode, your time starts now. Okay.
My R is, where would you expect to be in 5 years?
No. Don't tell us the 3 R's again. Just in 1 to 2 minutes. Respond to this table topics question. Your time starts. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
All right. Good evening, Toastmaster and guests.
Good evening.
Where I would like to be in 5 years' time, based on my daily routine, I would like to see myself as a good public speaker, a person who understands communication well, a person who did not joke with studying on a daily basis, a person who is well organized. As the saying says, leaders are leaders. So I need to continue reading good and get good information from different materials that can actually enable me to actualize my future's plan and routine in 5 years' time. Who do I want to be in 5 years' time? I want to be a great speaker, as I said. I want to be a good communicator. I want to be someone that will be relatable. I want to be someone that will be versatile in every different angle of life. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, you use 1 minute, 21 seconds, but I was struggling to see which of the questions were you responding to? Hello? Olabode?
Where will I expect to be in 5 years' time? In 5 years? Based on my own current routine.
No. That was not the question asked. The question was the first one. If you could relive yesterday, what would you do differently?
Oh, I thought you've explained that.
Yes, and I explained it, and I now want people to speak for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Yes. Can I still try?
No, okay, you will try another time, but just take notes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Akpan, you are next. The first question, you have 1 to 2 minutes. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much, sir. If I could relive yesterday, I would learn differently. I would approach the subject of lifelong learning differently and education differently. First of all, I will try to be a bit more curious about life. I will try to take more risk. I would try to invest more time and energy in developing those soft and hard skills that will help me to survive and perhaps live life to the fullest. I would also love differently if I could relive yesterday. I would try as much as possible to invest more in people, to take more risk when it comes to building positive relationships and friendships. I will also try to make sure that I deposit as much time and effort into other people's emotional accounts so that I could make more impact. If I could relive yesterday, I would also try as much as possible to remember that comfort and growth do not exist together. So I will take more adventures. I will travel more. I will take more holidays. I will try to explore the world around me more and try to learn more about the universe. If I could relive yesterday, I would pay more attention to the things that matter. I will try to give more of my presence and less of presence. I will try to speak my truth and be more authentic. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, sir.
You use 1 minute 53 seconds. That is wonderful. But let me show you something if I was the judge. Okay? Toastmaster Akpan, you did not use any example. You did not
Yes,
use
sir.
any illustration. You did not use any fact. You did not use any figure.
Wow.
So you were just telling us, if I could relive yesterday, if I could relive yesterday, oh, if I could relive yesterday. So nothing to remember about yesterday. You didn't talk to anybody, no name, nothing you could learn. So please, that's one area we need to take note of. Your response must include example, illustration, facts, or figures, any of them. Try to relate an example. It could be a fabricated example, it could be a real example, it doesn't matter. But try to incorporate example, please. Don't just say, oh, if I could relive yesterday, if I could relive yesterday. In fact, if I could relive yesterday. No. The judges would like to see, was there any example? Was there any quote? Was there any facts? Was there any figure used? Was there any statistics used? So don't just continue, if I could relive yesterday, if I could relive yesterday. Okay, so please take note of that.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there was one more person who raised his hand. Was that Omotayo? Mr. President, Jesu Shola, I can see your hand. You want to go for 1 to 2 minutes? Hello, Jesu Shola. Okay, so I think we'll just go ahead. Maybe he has challenges with his network. Okay, let's go to the why question. And I would like 1 or 2 other persons to try. The question is, what celebrities do you admire? Why? You know, they like asking that question, what would you do differently and why? So let's go to the why questions. What celebrities do you admire and why? Who can restate the question, recognize what you are being asked, and then respond in just 1 to 2 minutes? Who wants to try?
Hi.
Who is the I?
But TM Bode, Hafiz.
Okay, since you are always trying to participate, I love that. Please, others, take advantage of it. Nobody will laugh at you. You will learn better by practicing. Okay, I can see Enreta also raising hand. And who else? Okay. Okay, Akpan again. I would love some other people to try. I can see Jesus Shola raising his hand. Okay, but then you go first. What you have to, if you don't restate the question correctly, I won't score you anything. You score 0. And if you
Thank
don't
you.
use examples, statistics, facts, or figures, you will score 0. So
Okay.
my ears are open. If I don't
Okay.
hear vocal variety, 0, 2, I'm a very strict teacher. I don't know why. All my students are scoring 0, 0, 0 sometimes.
Okay.
Okay, Olabode,
Yeah.
you have 1 to 2 minutes. Your time starts now.
Okay. The celebrity that I admire most, his name is Ebenezer Obey. He's a musician. Most of his lyrics or the lyrics of his songs is all about life, and it comes with moral lessons. There's one I could remember that talks about there's nothing you can do to a man in life that will satisfy them. If you can permit me to say it in my language, it says, kò sọ́gbọ́n tó lè dá, kò síwà tó lè wù tó lè fi tẹ́ aráyé lọ́rùn. Nothing you can do to actually satisfy people. And there are other area in life also that you should not allow the external factor to come in between you and your spouse. Meaning, do not allow people that will actually cause quarrel between you. In life, if two spouses are having issue at home, his advice was to settle the disputes between themselves without allowing the external factor to have influence in their disagreements. So the musician called Ebenezer Obey is a fantastic man who I admired his lyrics or the kind of music he actually produced, unlike many other music, other celebrity that are into music production. They actually sell out to the youth today. I admire this man. Is a fantastic icon in the music industry. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, thank you. At least I could see here example. You talked about some of the lyrics you love, and that was why you love the man. That was amazing. Well done. I could see examples brought out in your speech. So is Toastmaster Henrietta ready?
Yes, please, sir. I am.
Okay, Toastmaster Henrietta, you have 1 to 2 minutes. The same question. How would you respond to it? Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. In an attempt to answer this question, what and why is what I see and what I recognize from the question. Tara Fela, Iboku Owesike are one of my favorite celebrities in Nigeria that I admire. And in Somalia and in Libya, I admire Lima Robata and Dr. Hawa Abdi. These are icons, African icons that I admire and cherish. Why do I admire them? I admire Tara Fela because her way of thinking and the way she's able to execute her dreams actually has shaped my thinking in entrepreneurship. And today, I think differently about entrepreneurship. I admire people like Amina Mohammed, who has given me hope in terms of women in leadership. Lima Robata is a Liberian peace activist, whereas Dr. Abdi, she's a Somalian human rights activists. These are women that have given their lives to the service of humanity. With all of this, I would cherish them for life because they shape my life and they make my life better. And I believe that someday I would be like them or be much more better than them. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Toastmaster Henrietta. I could see why you really admire them. You were able to bring those qualities out. That's good. But you used exactly 2 minutes. Well done. I have my comment and I'll reserve it later. I could see
Okay, sir.
Toastmaster Akpan raising his hand again. Are you ready, Akpan?
Yes, sir, I am ready.
Okay, before I come to Osita, Osita, get ready, you are next. Akpan, you have 1 to 2 minutes. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much, sir. The celebrities I admire are many, but I'm going to mention Bukola Elemide, a France-born but Yoruba singer. She actually plays the guitar and she is a musician. Her stage name is Asha. I also admire Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is a South African-born comedian. Presently, he is the host of the Daily Central show on CNN, Comedy Central. I admire these two personalities because they have actually used their talents, their gifts, and their potentials to change the world in one way or the other. Asha has gone through a lot while trying to fashion out her identity as a musician. And with 3 albums to her credit, she has left an impact. Her first album, Jella, her second album, Bed of Stone, and her third album, Lucy, have actually given credence to her unique combination of soul and rock music to communicate the essence of life philosophies as it has to do with feminist ideas, human rights, and a desire to actually make a difference in the world. Trevor Noah has actually distinguished himself as one of the first Comedy Central hosts who is Black and who is from South Africa. He's someone who is a political commentator, and I admire him because he has a brilliant mind and an in-depth analysis of political events. These two celebrities have shaped my worldview and will continue to shape them. I admire them because they are actually people that I look forward to. Thank you very much, sir, for this time.
Well, well done, Toastmaster Akpan. You used 2 minutes, 22 seconds. But I think I could see improvement in your speech because you could use examples there and reasons you spoke about the question. Toastmaster Osita, you are next. I hope you are ready before
Thank you,
I go
sir.
to Toastmaster Abe. Toastmaster Abe is the last person before I give my evaluation. Toastmaster Osita, are you ready? Hello, are you ready, Osita? Hello? Hello, Osita, are you there? Okay, maybe he has a challenge with his network. Can we move to Toastmaster Paul? Toastmaster Paul, are you ready? Hello, Toastmaster Paul, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. You
Good evening,
have 1 to
Toastmasters and guests.
You have 1 to 2 minutes. Your
The
time starts
celebrities I
now.
admire most. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Are you with me?
Yes. Go ahead,
Can you hear
sir.
me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. You have the floor, sir. You can go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear you, sir. Go
Hello?
ahead. I can hear
Hello?
you. Can you hear me?
Hello? Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, go ahead. You have
The
1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, the celebrities. Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good
The
evening.
celebrities I admire in life are many, but I will just mention one person. His name is Toastmaster Effiong. And why I admire him so much, is currently the Area 30 director. I admire his doggedness, his meticulousness, and his brilliance. His mastery of pathway learning experience is apt. Before Toastmaster Division 13 could really grasp the techniques and nitty-gritty of pathway learning experience, Toastmaster Effiong has gone ahead and is done with pathway already. He became a resource person, and I will but no doubt say he's the most resourceful Toastmaster for today. I admire him so much. When I grow up, I'd like to be like him. Thank you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Paul, I know you are up to something.
Hello?
I know you were up to something, I know.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, fully
Network.
with you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. I know you were up to something. Okay, finally we'll go to Toastmaster Osita. Are you ready now, Osita? Toastmaster Osita, are you ready? All right, so I will just go ahead with my evaluation. The speakers did very well, but there's still one thing missing. You did not talk to your audience. I didn't hear anybody talk to his or her audience. Yes, I like that celebrity. Yes, he did this. Yes, he's beautiful. You did not relate that story, that information to your audience. So when you are handling table topics question, when you have spoken about everything, relate it to your audience. Like Toastmaster Henrietta, Toastmaster Bode was saying, you could say, okay, like Toastmaster Henrietta was talking about people who were fighting for freedom. So you could talk to your audience. You too could volunteer to let your voice to the less privileged. You could do this, you could do this, or encourage you to do this, you. So please always end your talk to the audience. Please, don't just respond to the question, talk to your audience. That's what will catch the attention of your audience. Relate whatever you're saying to your audience. The morals of what you are saying, relate it to your audience. That is very important. Relate the morals of what you are saying to your audience. And ask your audience to take action based on what you have told them. That is what will bring the flavor from your speech. Okay, I just want 1 or 2 more people to try something. The next question, when was the last time you tried something new? People who have not spoken before, just 2, before we move to the next tips on the next contest. 2 people who have not spoken before. We want to go to the next question. When was the last time you tried something new? Who is going? This is a bazaar. Going? No, Labode, no, I won't recognize you this time, sorry. I want those who have not said anything. I can see Toastmaster Soji in the house. Can see some very beautiful, wonderful Toastmasters in the house. Please, who is going next? Someone who has not responded. This is just an interactive class. It's not a pure training or seminar. So you are ready to make your point, contribute, or say something. Based on the formula we just learned, who can use that formula to respond to the next question? When was the last time you tried something new?
Good afternoon, Toastmaster Effiong.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster Soji.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm very well. Do you want me to give it a go?
Please go ahead. You have the floor. Your time starts now.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. When was the last time I tried something new? There's a saying that you hardly can teach a dog a new thing at a particular age. And I'd always thought I was too grown to learn something completely new. But come to realize that almost everything is possible if only you will put your mind to it. I've always been a trainer, and doing it in class has been the only way I knew how to do it. I've so engaged myself in the face-to-face method that I've never thought about doing it electronically or online. But when COVID came, everything shut down, and I had to think about something to keep the business going. And of course, coming online to do what I normally do face-to-face became the only option available to me. For several weeks, I struggled with how to effectively engage students from different rooms and different environments, and trying to make sure that I get results that I normally would get in an environment that is face-to-face. But of course, I had challenges. I had serious issues with things that I would normally have done if I was in the same room with them, until I found means and other softwares that I could use to track them and to know exactly how to interact with them electronically. And that's where I found tools that could help me to vote, like Mentimeter.com, and some other tools that I discovered just by accident. And since then, it's been fun doing it and knowing that I can always do it when the mind is there. So that shows me that I can do something different if only I put my mind to it. An old dog can actually be taught a new trick after all. Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Toastmaster Soji. You used 2 minutes, 23 seconds. Well, you are still within the time. Well, I didn't hear dates. Question was when. In when question, the judge will look out for which year, or at least which month.
My body. You know if you say sorry, Abi.
Hey, please mute
You know
your
if you say
mic.
sorry, just put it for my body.
Who is that? Please mute
You
your
know if
mic.
you say sorry. Say sorry, Oga. Come, wait first. Say
Please
sorry.
mute your mic.
Toastmaster
See, you wound me for leg.
Toastmaster
You put it for my body. You know if you say sorry.
The host should please mute her. The host should mute her.
I'm trying
Mute
to
everyone.
I'm trying to find her to mute her.
Mute everybody. Mute everybody.
Okay. All right. I think that's done. Toastmaster Soje, I didn't hear when exactly. I know you described the period, COVID-19 era. Maybe you could have used something like June, March, maybe May or April. Usually when you're responding to this kind of question, you point out the exact time because the question is when.
All right.
Yes, sir.
When.
And then maybe you joined us later.
Thank you.
The aspect of restate wasn't really clear. In this kind of question, you could have said the last time I tried something new. In table topics contest, you don't repeat the question, you rephrase or restate the question. But I love the fact that you showed us, you told us about the different things that you did differently. And also, I would also appreciate if you could tell us how we too can learn from your own experience. So you could throw the thing back to your audience and say, well, never sit on where you are, try to learn something new. It will help you like it helped me. So like I said, always throw back the statement to your audience, tell them the lessons and what they stand to benefit from whatever you are telling them. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that trial. I really appreciate it. Any other question at this juncture? We want to take a break here before we move straight to the other tips on the next contest. Please, in summary, don't forget this formula. It is to help you to answer any table topic question. Recognize, restate, answer. Recognize, restate, answer. Recognize, restate, answer. We saw it in this example. When you were in secondary school, who was your favorite teacher? Recognize says, what is the focus of the question? In this case is, who was your favorite teacher? That is, you must first of all recognize exactly what you are being asked. Otherwise, we've seen it happen several times. They'll ask people questions on the TV, on the program, on the podcast. They go and start answering something else. So you as an expert must recognize what the question is. The question here is, who was your favorite teacher when you were in secondary school? Who was he? So you focus on that. And then you have to restate when you are trying to respond. When I was, to change the you to I. When I was in secondary school, my favorite teacher was Mr. Okafor. And then you can now go ahead to describe Mr. Okafor, describe the school, and so on. So please, let's take note of this formula. It's very effective in answering your table topic answer, respond to your table topic question. And then finally, please push the lesson to your audience. Always end your talk with speaking to your audience. Tell them the morals of what you have just said. Tell them what they will stand to benefit from it, and then close with a bang. And I'm sure you will be on to winning the trophy. All right, we'll go to Tall Tale. Who can tell us in a brief sentence, what is Tall Tale? Tall Tales. What is Tall Tales? Who will help us?
Can I try?
Go ahead, please.
Can I try, sir?
Go ahead.
In my view, Tall Tale is an exaggerated story.
Okay. You're absolutely right. Exaggerated story. I could tell somebody that I'm 7'2", and those who know me will know that that's a lie. So it's more or less a way of telling people lies, if I may use that word. Just exaggerate something that does not simply exist at all. That is not true at all. In this case, you are not expected to tell normal story. Tall tale, you are not to tell normal story. You have to exaggerate everything. And please, drama is needed here. You have to dramatize. It is not a speech where you just tell normal story. No, you have to dramatize. Tall tales is use your imagination as much as you can. But then what will help you in this context is your ability to describe a situation. And for you to describe a situation well, you must use figures of speech. The man ran as fast as a cheetah. So those in the audience who knows cheetah will know how fast the man ran. You must use figure of speech, must use many figures of speech. That is what will bring out the flavor in your tall tales contest. Please go and fill your speech with figures. The building was as wide as the snow. You must use metaphors, personifications, hyperboles, oxymoron. You must fill your speech with them. That is the only way you can excel in this contest. This one is slightly different from normal table topics contest. And may I inform you that you have minimum of 1 month to prepare for this contest, minimum. So if you have not started and you are going to take part in it, I think you are like 1 day behind because today is already first. Please start. And if you need help, contact your mentor. It's very important. You need to know your figures of speech. Learn the simple ones. We are going to look at some of them here. Now again, let's go over how the judges will judge you. The first judging criteria is the content. So that carries 30% over 100. 30% of the score is on your content. What is the content of your speech? So you have 30%. The delivery carries 55%. So this is more than half. So you can see no matter how good your content is, if your delivery is poor, you may still not score very well. So the focus is on your delivery, your exaggeration, your ability to exaggerate as much as you can and to put twists, suspense, anything that will make it beautiful is what will score you greater marks. You must exaggerate. You must put everything you can into the delivery. The content is good. The delivery is better. Your body language, your dancing, your talking, you must use your hand to describe how wide, how high, how this, how strong, how your hand must speak, your body must speak in tall tale. Delivery carries 55% of the whole marks. And it contains, as you can see, it contains your technique, contains your appearance, your body language, contains your voice, contains these three things are very important. Yours, technique, appearance, body language, and voice. While the language carries only 15 marks. So please pay attention to your delivery in tall tale contest. So the judging criteria is clear. The judge's attention will be on the delivery. So pay attention to delivery. The content is good. Pay more attention to the delivery. And delivery means your ability to dramatize, the way you say it, the manner you say it, the way you put your body, keep your eye, demonstrate, exaggerate, twist it, keep the suspense, make people laugh. That is what Tall Tale is all about. Please don't go and give inspiring speech in Tall Tale contest, how to become rich. No, you will not go far. Don't go and inspire your audience in Tall Tale contest. It is a speech for people to laugh. It is a humorous speech. Don't go and talk serious business in Tall Tales. You will be scored low. And let me repeat that again. Please don't inspire your audience in Tall Tale contest. It is purely humorous speech. People come there to laugh. That's all. So don't be serious. Don't be serious in this speech contest at all. Make people laugh. That should be your focus. To be as funny as you can be, to make people laugh. Make people laugh. That is the focus of the contest. Okay, now we know how the judges will rate you, and then the focus of the speech is to make people laugh. Don't come and say how to prosper, how to do. No. It's about story, how you flew to the sky, just like Lily Van story of the giant and the dwarf. You could use something like that. You could travel to the moon, go to the Mars, and when you got there, you saw your family members. All of them were wearing blue and white, and all those kind of exaggeration that could add fun. Is just about fun and laughter, not a serious business. Please, I don't know how to stress this enough. It's not about a serious business. So it's all about your ability to tell a story. Tall Tale contest is, do you know how to tell stories? He who knows how to tell stories will win the contest. So go and learn storytelling skills. I think we just did a training on storytelling skills. Please go and learn storytelling skills. That is what will help you. In a typical storytelling speech, it has to be a personal story, or a story that is related to someone you know, someone not far away from you. You have to involve your audience in the story. There must be suspense, very serious suspense. Usually a storytelling speech has where the starting point, then it begins to climb, then it reaches a climax, and then it begins to come down. Please don't forget that. Come down, and then it has an end. Let me repeat that sequence. It has a starting point, then it begins to climb in the suspense, then it reaches the climax, and then it begins to come down. For instance, you could start with somebody who began to suffer, like they show us in the Nigerian movie. The person suffered, you don't know what will happen to him. Did he suffer all his life? You keep creating those suspense, and then it got to the climax. Maybe he was involved in an accident, they rushed him to hospital. When you get to that climax, you must start coming down. Coming down means he met somebody he knew in secondary school, the person took care of him, then gave him a job, then do this, then do that, then he became rich. That's where you end. And then you share the morals of that story with the people and you close. But you must learn how to create suspense in your story. And then you must say what those characters mean. Normal storytelling must include contrast between love and hate, between success and failure, between hard work and laziness. There must be some kind of contrasts in the story. In the story, there must be contrasts. You must be contrasting characters in your story so that people know it pays to love than hate. It pays to work hard than be lazy. It pays to do this than this. Your story must contrast those characters well. And then don't tell means dramatize it.
Can you, can you stop me, please?
So,
if you can go off line with me, I would love it too. I have 2% left.
So dramatize it as much as you can. Make sure you understand how to use your body language and everything you have to show it. Don't just tell dry story. Story was not meant to be told. It was meant to be shown. So again, your use of figure of speech. The house was as beautiful as a rose. The house was as tall as an iroko tree. Show it by creating vivid imaginations in the mind of your audience. And then the next skill is build up something they will always remember, the STAR formula, something your audience will always remember. What do you want them to remember about the story? Tell them. Begin to build it up gradually in the story. Let them see the sequence. The main theme, this is called theme of the question, the focus of the story, and then end with a positive takeaway. Your story must always be a good ending. Please don't end with a sad ending. Some people may carry it, this time is a very beautiful time. This time is not funny. So please don't make somebody go and say, well, even in the story, there is nothing good. So why am I still alive? So please give people hope to go and live well in their lives, in their houses, and with their family. So please end on a positive note is so important. So in tall tales, the most important skill you need is your ability to tell compelling stories. If you can tell compelling stories and exaggerate them as much as you can, you will go far in the contest. But if you don't, we've seen people come in tall tale contest and they are talking about 7 ways to make money. I mean, that's already zero. You're out of the contest. The judges will just say, this is not the contest for that. You can come and talk about that in an international contest. Maybe it will fly. But most people who win, even in international contests, they talk about story. It's all about story. Professional speakers, international speakers learn how to incorporate stories, especially personal story or a story that happened to a friend you know or someone you could really vividly describe their life story. Is all about story. So please take note. If you don't know how to tell story, please, this is time to learn. Now in your story, you must incorporate these descriptive languages. You must use similes, you must use metaphors, you must use personification. So spend time to learn them. Is very important. Spend time to learn these figures of speech. The trees stood as tall as towers. It creates, your audience will begin to see the tower, and then they compare the tower with the tree. It means the tree was stable, the tree was high, So you must know how to use these descriptive languages to paint the picture clearly. The circus was a magnet for the children. So you could compare magnet to the circus. That's a metaphor. So as in everybody knows magnet. So the attractive power of the magnet was what the children felt in the circus. So their whole attention was focused on what was going on in the circus. So that's what this speaker is trying to portray. You must learn how to use figures of speech in your tall tales contest. And personification, the sun smiled at the hills, ready to begin a new day. This is what will add flavor to your story. Please, if I'm going to be one of the judges, I will look for these things. And all the judges, trust me, will stop if you can use this. The next figure of speech is the oxymoron. Oxymoron is combining two or more contradictory terms. There was a deafening silence. Silence is quietness. Deafness is quietness. So when something is deafening silence, people will be like, wow, that means even if you drop a pin, everybody will hear the sound of that pin. But your ability to combine silence with deafness is a fantastic quality in your storytelling. And the most important skill there is a hyperbole, the use of exaggeration for rhetorical effect. The sun scorched through the day. You must learn hyperbole, as many of them are. In fact, if I may advise at this stage, please let's mute our mic. I'm hearing so much noise from the background. Okay. Hyperbole, please learn at least 5 hyperboles. Toastmaster Daniel, please mute your mic. For your tall tale contest, please learn minimum of 5 hyperboles. Incorporate minimum, I mean minimum of 5 hyperboles into your speech, minimum of 5. And if you add 2 more of oxymoron, it will help. And then one of simile, metaphor, personification. And to make it better, even if you can't have 5 of hyperbole, please make sure you have 1 of simile, 1 of metaphor, 1 of personification, 1 oxymoron, 1 hyperbole. But please and please make sure that these figures of speech are incorporated in your stories. Don't give a dry story without them. You may not win the contest. Storytelling is one of the best skills you could ever learn. So these are the little skill or tips I could give you for tall tale contest. It's all about exaggerated stories. And to give a good story, these 7 points can help you immensely. Let it be a personal story, involve your audience, create suspense, bring the characters out to life. Don't tell, show it by your body language. Say something that your audience will always remember, and then end with a positive takeaway. All right, I would like to stop here and take comments. If you have any, please let me hear what you have to say. Let me hear what you have to say.
Good afternoon, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I joined the meeting midway. But I want to ask about that oxymoron. So I'm asking, is it not tautology to have deafening silence? You don't have the same meaning?
No, it's not tautology. That's what oxymoron means. It means the silence was so, the place was so quiet that,
okay,
that if you drop a pin, everybody will hear. You see, that's the beauty of literal studies, of literature, of poetic writing. It's just to express the depth. This is showing you the depth of the silence. You know, you're in a place where everywhere is just quiet. Not even the sound of the breeze was heard. Everywhere was quiet. And if it is in the night, people would think that a ghost has just passed because everywhere is dead silent. Another way to put it is dead silence. As silent as the grave. You know, is a beautiful literary work. It's not a tautology. And please, it's good if you can incorporate this in your tall tale contest speech, in your speech. It will help you a lot.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Olabode, I can see your hand. Do you have a question or a comment?
I have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
This lesson seems to be as big as a mountain, but it's surmountable by everyone who listen and put into practice. Thank you so much for the lesson.
Oh,
I appreciate
fantastic. You've already started using it. Interesting. Well done. That's okay. Any other comment or question? You see now the house is deafening silent. Okay, Namenti Akpan raising his hand. Do you have question or comment?
So I actually have a comment.
Okay.
Yes, I want to say that I appreciated the lesson we had today. You were as clear as crystal in your presentation. I could take every point you made. I want to request if it's possible for us to have a recording, the recorded part, so that we could make references, or possibly if when next are we going to have this presentation again. Thank you, sir.
Well, the interaction is actually recorded, but I have to charge $1 per copy. You know, I want to be as rich as Bill Gates. As you understand me. Too, I know how to use simile and metaphor. I have to try to. Okay, thank you very much. It's actually recorded. I think I will share it later when I'm done with it. Who else have a question or a comment?
Thank you, sir. I'm grateful, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question or comment?
Sir, good evening, sir. I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I really want to thank you for going through this course with us, even though I was a little bit late. But I wanted to ask, are you going to send us this material, or is there any material that you could recommend for us to incorporate as we go about crafting our award-winning tall tale speech? Thank you.
Okay, Toastmaster Maureen, my only advice would be that you go to YouTube and listen to as many of them that you could find and try to see how those speakers were able to express their own thoughts in the exaggeration. But Toastmasters expect that your own speech must be original. You know, we've seen a speech canceled in one of the contests in Division E, but you must be as original as possible. But these skills we have discussed here will really help you. So the only material I will really suggest at this time is YouTube, because reading anything now, except you have something good that you want to read, reading will help, but listening will be better. So I would recommend YouTube for everyone. Comfort and growth cannot coexist. So please, you have to drop comfort while you are preparing for this contest. After the contest, you can take a bottle of Ferrous to enjoy yourself and relax the tension. So I would strongly recommend YouTube for everyone. Okay, any other question or comment?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I'm seeing Toastmaster Daniel with face masks. Are you in the public or you are even protecting yourself from us? This is beautiful. If you do this in a contest, I'm sure you will go far because people will start laughing immediately. That you are using the face mask.
Actually, I'm in a hospital environment. So
I see.
actually,
Oh, I see.
thank you for the training. It was wonderful, and I appreciate the effort you put to put this material together. I would love to crave your indulgence to avail us with the slide and the link, the recording link as well, so that we can go through it painstakingly and actually digest every of the tenets you've taught us this afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, I'm glad that the material made sense at all because I was scared whether it's going to make any sense. Anyway, all right.
It did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Two more questions.
Yeah, a comment here. Toastmaster Ephraim, just wanted to thank you for your presentation and leading us through these nuggets that you've given us on table topics and tall tales content. I just wanted to mention that your presentation was as sound as a pillar, and that the nuggets you've given us in preparation for the contest are worth their weight in gold. So thank you very much, sir.
Wow, thank you for that use of simile, metaphor. That's amazing. Well done, sir. I hope you are participating in the contest.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Fantastic. Well done. Okay. One more before we wrap it up. Any question or comment? All right. So in the absence of none, the program was about tall tale, tips on tall tale and table topic contest. For table topics, we said there's a formula you could use that could be of help to you, the RRA formula. The first R meaning recognize. That means recognize the exact question, the focus of the question. Usually, is it a who question? Is it a why question? Is it a what? Is it a where? Is it a when? Is it a which? Is it a how? So that you recognize exactly what the question is looking out for. That's the first R, recognize. Pay attention to what you are actually being asked. The second R is restate the question. When you were in secondary school, who was your favorite teacher? You restate it before you give your answer. Please restate the question. You could start by saying, when I was in secondary school, my favorite teacher. Restating means personalize it. Personalize it. When my favorite celebrities are, or my favorite celebrities is, personalize your response. That's the restate. And then go ahead to answer it immediately. Please don't forget to use examples. Don't forget to use statistics if you have. Don't start to use facts. That is what will make meaning to your audience. And finally, relate what you are saying to your audience. Relate it to your audience. Please, don't just end your table topic speech without relating your story to your audience. Give them what to work on. Tell them what they stand to gain if they do what you say they should do, and then close with a bang. We saw what the judges will look out for. Then tall tale contest, please don't come to the contest to tell people inspiring story. No. Make people laugh. Tell a story, not necessarily a speech. Let it be a story. And we've talked about the 7 skills that will help you tell compelling story. Please exaggerate the story. Don't tell normal story. Tell exaggerated stories. Exaggerate it as much as you can. Make it impossible to be true. And don't fail to use your figures of speech, your simile, your metaphor, your personification, oxymoron, and hyperbole. I tell you, if you do all this, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be, and that's the winner of the 2 contests. If you persist, you'll get it done. If you are consistent, you will keep this long. So after this training, please, I will advise that you start practicing. Even if you are not going to take part in the contest, next time they call you for a table topic question or participation, don't forget the formula RRA. It will help you give a better response. And if you don't know how to tell compelling stories, please start now. Use those 7 skills and see how far you can go. And learn to incorporate figures of speech into all your language. It was a pleasure doing business with all of you. I'm so glad I had 24 people in the audience. All the best in your contest coming up between the 16th of August and I think 16th of September. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
You have a giant information.
What information, sir?
Your information is very giant.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate you. God bless you.
Bless you too. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone.
I'll reach out later by God's grace. Thank you so much.
No problem. Take care.
All right, sir.
I'll end the meeting here for